Told the girls, I was like, good news or bad news? And they're like, bad news. I was like, we're not going out to eat tonight. And they're like, oh, man. I'm like, we were never talking about going out to eat. And they're like, well, what's the good news? I'm like, you don't have school tomorrow. They're like, yeah. I'm like, but you have to do a couple of your learning apps. And they're like, oh, that was the bad news. I'm like, whatever. It's iPad time. You love it. And they're like, okay.
So you said you were just messing with them as to whether you, like, cause it's like, well, we never go out to dinner. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no one was ever talking about going out to dinner.
Okay.
You know, sometimes they think I'm a huge sucker because, you know, Dad's out of town and you had a long day. You don't want to cook. What if we just went out and got food? Like, yeah. They can usually talk me into that about Thursday or Friday, though, for real. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We've done leftovers all week long. Let's go grab something easy.
There you go. Yeah, I had pizza delivered last Friday.
Oh, yeah?
From a really good pizza joint. And it's like, oh, my God, it's so good. And I had a hard time knowing whether it's always been that good or if just being deprived from food that's not made by me.
Right?
Is that the right sentence? Yeah.
It is. That's a valid concern there because we hadn't had pizza in a long time and we were craving pizza. And we did pizza for the Chiefs game, and it was such a letdown.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about your pizza, and I will live vicariously through yours. What kind of crust did you do?
Oh, it's a New York style crust.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only crust they offer.
Okay.
It's the neighborhood pizza joint that has a really good. They actually formerly were a Papaquinos.
Oh.
Yeah, but something they didn't want to be part of that franchise anymore, and now has their own crusts.
So what toppings did you go with?
Which isn't that much different than their old one. They're both New York style. I like a pizza slice I can fold.
Okay.
You know, I went with basically a Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go.
And you can tell that they've got really quality ingredients.
Nice.
You know?
Yes.
And for whatever reason, Papa John's just popped into my head. You know, they had the old saying, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. I always thought, better than what? Better than they used to have? Better than garbage? Like, better than what? I never thought their ingredients were extra tasty or fresh or anything like that. But anyway, this place, you could tell, it's like, okay, seems like the majority of these ingredients are quite fresh. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
We went with a pizza not too long after we moved up here, and somebody's like, oh my gosh, this is such a good local business, and they make such good pizza, and they were pretty expensive, and we did like a Supreme, and I was very disappointed because they used canned mushrooms.
Oh,
I was like, come on, for this, and maybe I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt that maybe, you know, like they ran out, but I'm like, it's a Saturday night, you shouldn't run out at like 7:00, but...
Yeah, I can tell you're affected by it because this is the second time you brought it up.
I know when you talk about better ingredients, I immediately think about fresh vegetables. And do those green peppers crunch when you eat them? Or, you know, are they just like wilty green things on your pizza that it's just trying to give a little color to? But mushrooms are a big deal for me. If they're canned, come on now.
In fact, this pizza that I order, because I always order a little bit extra, especially if it's from a good place.
Right.
That's what I burn my mouth on. I told you about how I burn my mouth. Yeah. It's the toaster oven. Got to use that. Do not microwave your pizza to reheat it. Use your toaster oven or just use your regular oven.
Right.
And broil that or something. Just find microwave pizza to be soggy. I think what you do is you either reheat it in an oven or a toaster oven, or you eat it cold.
I'm a cold pizza girl. Yeah.
And then your final choice is to microwave it.
When there's nothing else, microwave.
Unless you like the soggy crust, a lot of people may like that. So to each their own.
My kids like it reheated, and I'm like, you guys are crazy. They like it reheated in the microwave. But when you do it in the oven, like not your toaster oven, but when you do it in the oven, do you do it on the broiler? What's your setting?
Well, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, just broil it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you just throw it in bake, isn't it? Just going to preheat anyway, so that top element's going to be on. I don't want to wait until the oven gets all the way up to 425. I feel like at that point, maybe I'm wasting energy or something.
Oh my gosh, I did a huge no. Monty got up really early on Sunday morning to smoke some meat out on the Traeger.
That's exciting.
Whatever Not exciting, but
No.
on Sundays, he makes this, he meal preps so that he doesn't have to eat out when he's in a hotel every night for the week. So he smoked, I want to say like brisket, maybe some sort of beef.
Damn, Kate, this wasn't exciting to you?
No, because I ruined it.
Oh, I see.
He smoked it. He got up early. He did all these things, and then he brings it in and he has to put it in the oven and let it cool by itself. And we leave for basketball games, and I knew the meat was taken care of. And we come home from basketball games, and we're in 2 cars because we had 2 different gyms. And I want to make the buffalo dip. So I preheat the oven, and I go about my merry way, and I put together this dip, and I go to put the buffalo dip in the oven about 20 minutes later, and the meat was still in the oven.
Ouch. Yikes, that sucks.
So the whole point of getting up early and slow cooking and blah, 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 in 20 minutes at 3:50, I ruined it. Now, he is a saint of a man. He's very sweet. He's not going to say, you ruined it. But I felt so bad. I'm like, well, just take extra barbecue sauce with you. I felt so bad.
So it's basically just overcooked and dry.
Yeah. And I had a bite of it before, and it was pretty juicy. It was pretty good. And I was like, have you tried it yet? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, is it bad? And he's like, no, it'll work. It's fine. I'm like, oh, God.
It's sustenance. It's protein.
I felt so bad.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yep. Like at least 5 hours wasted for 20 minutes at 3:50. Ugh, what a jerk.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You know?
I know.
Just try not to blow it next time.
Try not to.
Or always check. Always check. Make sure there's not something in there.
Yep. That is a good lesson.
When I worked at the Apple store, someone brought their phone in that they had inadvertently put in the oven.
No.
Yeah, it was obviously completely...
Inadvertently?
And they were like, I had no idea how it got in there. Like, I don't know if maybe
Were they on mushrooms?
Maybe a kid put it in there when it wasn't heated up, and then they did a similar move where they didn't check the oven and then turned it. She could not explain how this phone was completely charred.
Baked.
And was clearly put in an oven, yeah. It's like, sorry, I can't service this. So
sorry.
Yeah. But but back to the deal. I highly recommend. I think having a toaster oven is fantastic for reheating pizza. In fact, I would say reheating pizza is reason enough to have a toaster oven. So good, Kate. Just throw one slice in there, throw it on toast.
Matt, are your college years like my college? Maybe I shouldn't even say college years. Your 20s. Like if you had $1 for every time you burnt your mouth on pizza rolls that came right out of the oven. Like when you talked about burning your mouth on pizza, I was like, oh yeah, it'll get you every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's happened many times.
I get so excited for those pizza rolls quick, and then 3 layers of skin in your mouth gone.
I never was a huge fan of pizza rolls, but same general idea. I would one of my hacks before Kate was to get a Totino's party pizza.
Oh yeah.
And then basically just use that as a crust for the actual pizza toppings, so then you add your own additional cheese and then a whole bunch of other toppings on there. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep, that's good. And then your mouth could be on fire pretty quick. Cheese has a very high specific heat. You know that, Kate?
I did not.
Yeah, we talked about it in, was it chemistry in college? I'm trying to think what class in college where we talked about specific heat. And the dude was talking about, or maybe it was high school, doesn't matter. But the dude was talking about, cheese has a very high specific heat. And with specific heat, it means it takes a long time to get up to temperature. But once it's at that temperature, it hangs there for a very long time. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting.
It takes a bit to melt that cheese. And then, yes, the cheese can be on fire for, you can burn yourself on delivery.
Right, but on the Totino's pizzas, because I do love a good Totino's pizza, if you don't eat it when it's like piping hot, you have a very short window before it is cold.
Oh.
Where the crust is like, well, it's gone. It's cold now.
Yeah, because the crust is basically just like a packet of air.
Right. Quick, eat it even if you burn your mouth.
You got to get this in you.
Right.
Yeah. Good old pizza. Mm-hmm. What a food item.
I know. I've met few pizzas that I didn't like.
Oh, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to go for some breakfast pizza right now.
Ooh.
You a fan?
I like where you're thinking.
Fan of breakfast pizza, Kate?
Yes. I'm new to breakfast pizza, in the last 5 years. Yeah.
Casey's has a solid breakfast pizza.
That is who I fell in love with right there.
It needs to advertise on this radio station again. Huh. They want to continue to stay famous for pizza. They really should pay for their mentions, but
I mean, come on.
Whatever.
Casey's. Get on it. I can't tell you that I've had another breakfast pizza. So Casey's is all I know.
Oh, okay.
And I got to tell you, the whole cheese sauce and eggs, and isn't there even a gravy on there? I was very...
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Nah, not so much, but that's good.
The base is either gravy or it is a queso or something.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it is, but I haven't had it in a while. It's pretty good. Yeah. All right. So there we go. From time to time, we have pizza talk on Matt and Kate. Not the first, not the last.
Definitely not the last. I wish I brought more to our conversation, Matt, than food.
What are you talking about? I think that's the most important thing we talk about on, except when you're throwing my beans in my face. You know.
Oh, you do beans a lot. Do you change up your beans? Or is it the same beans every time?
It's pretty much always black beans. Yeah, I've got some garbanzo still, some chickpeas that I think we talked about those before that I've still got sitting around that I need to figure out how to most appropriately prepare.
Okay.
But yeah, I figured out how to make black beans, and black beans are, they're good.
Good.
You just don't like beans.
I just don't like beans.
Yeah, for anyone who's not familiar, Kate will treat herself like a child and hide her beans, crush up her beans inside your taco meat, right?
Taco meat and protein balls. Yep.
But gotta hide them. Gotta obscure them.
Yep. Even though I'm making them, so I know they are there. Yep. Gotta cover them up. I can't think of something. I'm on a big coleslaw kick, though, so maybe but even that runs out. I'm not going to eat coleslaw every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's much worse than beans. Come on. At least beans have a decent bit of nutritional value, whereas coleslaw, I mean, come on.
Fiber.
Cabbage. Okay.
What's beans? Protein and fiber, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, beans is...
Okay, so you get protein. Well, I put protein with my coleslaw. Doesn't that count for anything? I put meat in my coleslaw.
Yeah, but...
Yesterday I had shredded chicken in my coleslaw. It was so good. Got some tomatoes in there. And yeah. And I had some tortilla, the bag of tortilla chips that's unopened, and the bag of tortilla chips where it's just crumbs at the bottom, but you don't throw them away.
Oh, yeah,
for moments
right.
like this, because then you can take the crumbs and put them in your coleslaw a little bit. So I had a little bit of a salty crunch. It's good.
Yeah. It reminded me of a friend of mine who was at the bottom of a bag of chips and low enough of a container of French onion dip that he just, emptied the chips into the French onion dip.
Yeah.
Mixed it around and then just ate it.
With a spoon.
It was a bit much, but with a spoon.
If there's the perfect amount of French onion dip.
I feel like there was too much French onion dip on this.
Okay, I couldn't have done it.
I'm getting kind of sick recalling it, so.
Okay, yeah. Too much. Too much. Oh. And I do love a good French onion dip with Ruffles. That's my favorite.
Oh.
Wavy Lays are okay, but Ruffles, there's something about Ruffles.
Well, they got the ridges,
They got the ridges.
Oh, I didn't know that's how we were pronouncing ridges now.
You don't remember
that's
that
exciting.
Commercial? Ruffles have ridges.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. That does sound familiar now.
Okay. I can't take credit for it.
From a while ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
10, 15 years?
Ruffles? Oh, it's got to be longer than that, right?
Okay.
I don't
say
know.
It seems familiar, but it seems so distant, so.
You open a fresh bag of Ruffles and a fresh tub of French onion dip.
That use of tub is actually appropriate. All your other uses of tub where you're trying to say container or Tupperware, not so much. But yeah, you can have a tub.
You can have
some
a
kind
tub.
Of some kind of prepackaged dip, yeah.
And then you crack open a brand new Dr. Pepper when it's really cold.
Oh, I think I say box of wine.
Whoa. I'm not above wine and French onion dip, but something about Dr. Pepper and French onion dip are so good.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Wine and French onion dip don't go together?
I didn't say that. It's just, I'm sure that there's been a couple of nights where I'm like, yeah, let's dip into the French onion now.
It's kind of cheese-like, right?
Kinda, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'm not above it.
So I ran into an article that was talking about Valentine's gift ideas.
Yeah.
And I was like, none of these are new.
No.
I was like, oh, yeah, you could do chocolates. You could do cheese with some wine. And I'm like, these are all top-of-mind items.
No, see, I ran into an article that says these are bad ideas. And I was like, they're not all bad. I wouldn't like all of these things, but flowers, they've been done. I get it. But I still think people like flowers.
So you ran into an article about things not to buy on Valentine's Day?
Yes. Disappointing Valentine's gifts.
Okay. One of the items was a fondue set. I guess that one was somewhat original.
Yeah, okay, so that's a little different. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say that that's what you give someone for your first Valentine's Day. I think that would be a little odd. I think you have to, okay, in some of these gifts that says don't give these gifts, they definitely are not first-time Valentine's Day gifts. Like furry handcuffs. Yeah, I don't know that that's a first-time Valentine's Day. Or lingerie.
Well, it depends on how deep you are into the relationship.
Right.
6 months in, maybe, right?
Okay, yeah.
Second date?
Not so much. Furry handcuffs and lingerie, I think you should really know your date. Really know your Valentine.
It's actually a good reminder to anyone listening. If you're not in a relationship right now, don't start dating until after Valentine's Day. Okay. Stay strong a couple of weeks.
Come on, spill.
Don't have to sign up for a Valentine's Day.
But why?
It's an awkward commitment this early.
It's awkward.
If you start dating someone, aren't they probably going to expect that you're going to do something on Valentine's Day? And then what do you do?
What if you just want to date someone for Valentine's Day so you're not alone on Valentine's Day?
That one's fine. But yeah, if you were to start dating someone like right now, you might be signing up for a Valentine's Day date, and then you don't know whether to get them the furry handcuffs or a box of chocolates. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. This is another one of those things, Kate. We just recently talked about this, that there are times where I start talking and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I think this is probably one of them. So put the disclaimer right in the middle of this.
I mean, isn't that a whole thing around the holidays? Don't start dating around the holidays because then you're going to have to get them a Christmas present. And then you're going to have to spend New Year's with them. And the next thing you know, it's Valentine's Day. Have you heard that before?
Yes, that does sound familiar, and that does make sense. I guess at this point, it's like, you've almost made it. You've almost made it past all the holidays. You just have to get right past Valentine's Day. And then, in the before/after times, it'd be good to start a relationship up late in the day on St. Patrick's Day. There you go.
Now, see, that's where I think it's risky.
Oh, yeah?
When you're like, I don't remember St. Patrick's Day, but now I've got a boyfriend.
They're going to say, now I got a baby on the way.
No, golly. Things move fast. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be alone for the holidays, so I probably would have been in horrible relationships too long to not be alone on Christmas, New Year's, or Valentine's Day.
Just got to get this toxic relationship through Valentine's Day, and then I can move on.
I know, because I don't think I've had any breakups in the winter. So if that tells you anything. I don't want to be lonely.
Yeah, winter is a good time for being lonely. It's not great to be lonely. I'm just saying, like, winter is prime time to end up potentially lonely,
Yeah, I think it's harder.
Yeah, it's cold. You may be shut in a little bit more.
Right.
And I know now in these in-between times, the rules are a little bit different than normal, but you really got to want it to get out and about, to be social in the wintertime, I feel like, outside of the holidays at least.
Right.
In fact, that's one of the better reasons why.
Right.
I'm not saying that's why they exist in the winter time, or the late fall or whatever. I think that's one of the better things about Thanksgiving and Christmas, and New Year's, is that it kind of forces you to be social during one of the times of the year where it's pretty nice to not ever leave your house. So But once again, in between time, so the rules are a little bit different.
Right.
So.
I don't know. I think it's harder to be single in the winter. Because if you are feeling Debbie Downer, not really wanting to go out, it's cold, it's dreary, it's yucky. It's like, okay, this is why I'm alone. This is why no one loves me.
Oh, gosh.
I feel like I'm having flashbacks.
It'll be all right, Kate. It'll be all right.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Monty and I were not dating very long in our first Valentine's Day.
Oh, your pre-Valentine's relationship was coming up on the day?
Yeah, I want to say, okay, so we started talking in December, and we'd been on he had come up to Kansas City twice. And so Valentine's was a Wednesday because it was my day to work at the bar that I worked at.
Huh.
And it was so dead. My roommate and I were sitting actually at the bar because no one was in the bar. So we're just on the other side of the bar watching TV, and the door opened and Monty walked in. And I thought, oh, but it was so smart of him. He did send me roses to the bar, and they got there like at noon, and I didn't get there till like 4:00. So everybody who had been at the bar during the day had seen that I got roses. How sweet was that?
Oh, that's nice. And then he showed up to surprise you that night?
And then he surprised me. He took a cab. He got to my house in Kansas City and then took a cab to the bar where I worked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah. So he and Stephanie and I had Valentine's at the bar until I got off work. That's sweet.
Yeah, so this would have been date, what, like 5 or something?
No, this would have been our probably like date number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had been talking since December, and he'd come up to Kansas City twice before that.
So you're saying he drove to your house. You didn't know this was happening. He drove to your house and then had a cab take him to the bar?
Yeah.
That wasn't presumptive?
So then we'd have one car to take us back.
Oh.
We wouldn't have a bunch of cars at the bar.
I gotcha.
Because Stephanie's car was there too. So we would have had... I think I told him that Stephanie was coming down. So we were going to hang out at the bar. I don't think he presumed he was staying with us. Does that make sense? I don't think he presumed he was staying there. But it was just like, here's one place to have the cars.
Sure.
It was a long time ago. Long time ago.
See if we can use this old story to put a wedge between you and Monty and your quite solid marriage.
I don't think it's putting a wedge between us as much as it's making me...
Hey, Monty, what did you intend that night when you parked in my house before taking the...
And I think you were trying to help me. You were like, 5th date, right? I'm like, no, 3rd. Yeah. Yep.
I wasn't trying to help. I was just trying to guess. I thought that might be a good guess. Trust me, I'm not trying to help you, Kate.
I know. I mean, we'd been exclusively seeing each other, so... I mean, that works, right?
Sure, I don't know.
I don't know.
Relationships were different back in the year... When was this?
2006, but Valentine's Day was 2007. I know. How long ago was that? Jeez, oh, Pete.
Why did you say 2006, but Valentine's was 2007?
Well, we started talking in 2006.
Oh, okay.
In December. So the new year would have been 2007. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Started dating 2006.
So long ago. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So you guys have Valentine's plans? Have you thought about anything yet? Or is that in Monty's court?
We try to do something for the girls. They usually get like a little Valentine's gift or treat or something like that. But since it's a Sunday, right? Yeah, it's a Sunday this year. We might do a fun Valentine's Day dinner for the 4 of us. But we really haven't done... Trying to think, last year Valentine's, I think we did like a family, like let's go somewhere nice to eat as a family, but it wasn't like on Valentine's Day. I don't know. Yeah, we're not, I mean, oh my gosh, it's Valentine's Day, make reservations, we're going out. No, not so much.
Yeah, I don't recall Valentine's being at school as a kid, you'd exchange Valentines amongst the class, but I don't remember there ever being any family-oriented Valentine's Day activities. And maybe that was because we were all boys, I don't know.
Well, in high school, I felt like the office was always flooded with Valentines. And there was every year our Stuco did like a fundraiser where you could do you could pay for Valentines for people at school.
Yeah, it's part of a fundraiser or whatever.
Yeah.
But so you were saying the office got flooded with Valentines from people's parents? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And significant others. And
well, it makes sense for people that are working at school to get things delivered.
No, students.
Oh.
Students got flowers from either parents or boyfriends or girlfriends, even that went to our school or not.
Oh, yeah, those inter-school relationships.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But our high school was always flooded at Valentine's Day. I think my parents sent me flowers one year. Maybe. No, I did get flowers my freshman year because I broke my jaw. So my mom, I'm assuming my mom and my dad. It was my mom's handwriting on the card. But they sent me Valentine's Day because I couldn't eat anything solid still.
So would they send you some Carnation Instant Breakfast or something?
No, they just sent me flowers like, Happy Valentine's Day. You'll get to chew next week, baby.
How did you break your jaw?
Sledding.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, there's this wicked, huge, massive hill in Topeka that was phenomenal. And it was a Saturday. Okay, I'm going to set up the story that Friday night after basketball games, my best friend Angie and I went and we got invited by 2 senior girls. So our parents were like, I don't know about this. And we're like, no, we'll be good. It'll be fine. So we went. We were the only 2 freshmen. There's probably like 15 or 20 upperclassmen. And you know the plastic liner in a truck bed?
Yeah, well, it would prevent your truck bed from getting scratched or whatever.
Right.
Some are spraying and some are just kind of bolted in. Or
This is early 90s, so it was removable, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So there's like 15 or 20 of us in a plastic liner of a truck bed going down this massive hill. This is where people break arms. This is where people, bad news, bad things happen.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very safe.
Nothing happened. It was fun. Everybody lived. It was great. The next night, Saturday night, my friend Angie and I go with her mom. Her mom takes us. This is the most innocent of sledding ever. And Angie and I are going down the sled and we hit a bump and it sends us going backwards. And I'm in the back of the sled, so I'm going first and I'm turning around to see where we're going because I know we're towards the bottom of the hill. And I hit a blazer with my face on the grill of the blazer.
Oh my gosh.
Break my jaw. I get thrown, knocked unconscious. Angie hits her neck on the tire. She's out for just a second. In the hurriedness of telling her mom, who's at the top of the hill, to call 911, the blazer leaves because he was parked at the bottom of the hill. Like he wasn't on the street. He pulled up onto the bottom of the hill. And so he was parked illegally. I could have sued, but he got out of there real fast. I got my first ride in an ambulance.
Oh, well, at least you got that.
Yeah, broke my jaw.
Sounds horrible.
It was super innocent. How did nobody get hurt the night before?
I've got some questions.
All right.
So you were facing opposite the way that you were headed down the hill? Is that what you said?
Yes. So we're going down backwards.
And why?
We hit a bump.
You got turned around.
And we got turned around.
You were on one of those.
We didn't start going down backwards.
What was the shape of the sled? What kind of sled are we talking about?
Like a toboggan sled, like two-seater. Like there was 2 of us.
A rail sled?
No,
okay.
It was like a little plastic, but it was like a
plastic tub.
Yeah. But I made Angie always sit in the front because I was afraid if we hit something, I wanted to be able to bail. So Karma says, "Hey, girl, I'm going to put you in the back, but I'm going to hit the blazer first."
God, that sounds so violent. Brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
How long was your jaw? Your jaw was then wired shut, I assume?
It was not.
Oh, okay.
The doctor that we saw, because this happened on a Saturday night, so we saw the doctor emergency Sunday, and he was looking at my x-rays, and he was like, "Oh, your bones are being held together by a blood clot. You're fine. It'll heal great."
Oh, my gosh.
Which was bad news bears. That did not happen. Great. It delayed my braces about a year. And because we didn't take care of the jaw like we should have, when I got my braces off and tried to wear a retainer, like everything shifted so fast, like the retainer couldn't keep up. So now my teeth are crooked. Oh, it was awful.
Man, so how old were you at this point?
Freshman in high school.
Freshman in high school. Yeah, brutal. Worst timing.
Yeah, during basketball season.
Oh.
And I was on JV, and I had to talk to the head coach, and he was like, hey, I just need to know, was there alcohol involved? I was like, absolutely not. He's like, sledding during season isn't very wise. I'm like, okay, first of all,
what?
I ride the pine. I'm a freshman on JV. I don't get a lot of playing time. And the night before, there was a lot of stupid decisions, but I didn't get hurt. And then the next night, nothing. Oh, it was awful.
The next night, nothing. You mean the next night, everything, right?
Well, I mean, I was like, the next night when Angie and I, we weren't drinking when we were with the upperclassmen, but there was lots of drinking and nobody got hurt. So we go with our mom, essentially. Nobody's drinking, and I get an ambulance ride. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Oh, so I couldn't eat solid foods for about a week and a half.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it might be.
No, it could have been worse. I had to sit out from basketball for about 2 weeks because the doctor was like, if you get bumped, it's going to hurt.
Your jaw will fall off.
It will.
You'll just be an upper bite. It's all that'll be left of your face.
On the floor. They'll have to get cleaner for your broken jaw. Yep, broke my jaw.
I told you how I broke my collarbone, right? Sledding?
No. How'd you do that?
Oh, okay, so you familiar with stop day in college?
No.
It's like a day off between your last day of school and finals, something like that.
Okay.
And we had a big snow event. And I think actually what had happened was there was some freezing rain first and then some snow on top of that. And this was at KU, like my sophomore year, I think. And we had some drinks too, but weren't drunk by any stretch of the imagination. Had gone to Campanile Hill there to go sledding. We were meeting other people there, and we arrive, and they're not there yet, and they were the ones that had sleds. Well, in the meantime, someone had cleared off a stretch of sidewalk, which was that glaze of ice, and so people were kind of sliding on their butts across that.
Luge. Yeah.
And I tried just surfing it, standing up. And I lost my balance, flipped in the air, and then landed between my left shoulder and my head and broke my collarbone.
Yikes.
Pretty intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, are you one of those people who's like, so I kept sledding for a couple more hours, and then I was like, man, this really hurts. I should have it looked at. Or were you like, nope, done, gotta go?
It took me a bit I knew that it hurt. It took me a bit. And remember, my head got kind of conked too, so I may not have been especially all together there.
Right.
And so I recall I was still carrying like a 30-pack, a slightly depleted 30-pack of stones.
Right.
And eventually being like, hey, I think I yelled at my friend Mike, my roommate Mike. And I was like, I can't carry this anymore.
Oh.
And then eventually he was like, I think I really messed up my shoulder. And he like pushed on it. And he's like, oh yeah, I think your collarbone's messed up.
Ugh.
So then had to go to the ER. So yeah.
I would imagine that'd be pretty painful. Because a collarbone, you just have to like let it heal, right?
Yeah, they made me wear this, not like the sling that you would historically equate with a collarbone, but almost like a backpack looking thing that you had to tighten in the back. It kind of kept your shoulders back.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I needed help putting that on every time. So
oh gosh,
that was pretty obnoxious.
How long did you have to wear that?
I don't remember. I don't know. A couple weeks, 3 weeks maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
It was somewhere in college, so everything in that time frame is kind of the regular rules of time don't apply.
Right.
Stop day eve. The eve of stop day. So we were off the next day so that we could presumably study, and then, went out and got injured.
Presumably.
Quote, sledding instead.
Yep. Sledding, it'll get you.
Or not. I want people to be able to sled, but yeah, pay attention to, which what you're doing, what you're headed toward, I guess, in one sense.
Right.
Or maybe, don't try to surf on ice with just your feet.
Like, I'm trying to nurture my daughter Elliot. She is a wild child, and she's like, yeah, let's try surfing, on the ice instead. Like, I want to nurture that. And then I kind of want to push Finley, because Finley's my little cautious thing. She's like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. But I want them to enjoy it until they get hurt. Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
I want them to be brave enough to try things. I don't want my sledding story to be like, oh, we can't do this because mom broke her jaw when she was, 14. So
right, being averse to getting injured can prevent you from doing all kinds of fun things in life. Like, maybe you'd say, I never want to play a sport because I may hurt myself. Like, nah, that's no way to live. Come on.
Right. But, there's something about Elliot's adventurous style that I can see myself in, and I'm trying to let her get there. But at the same time, now that I'm responsible for this human being, should I really encourage her to go to the top of that hill before she goes sledding down it?
In this case, what's happening at the top of the hill? It's just,
well, at this our parking lot, when they plowed everything a couple weeks ago, they plowed it so high. She was like, I want to go to the top of that hill, and then I want to go down the little baby hill. That if she does it right, Matt, she's going to go shooting across the street. Now, if there's another adult there, if Monty was there, he could be at the bottom and watching for traffic. But I'm I get you, Elliot. I would want to do the same thing at your age, but I don't know if, I'm responsible for this little person. She wants to go shooting across the street.
Yeah, your girls are a year and a half difference in age.
They're 2 years.
2 years.
Finley just turned 11. Elliot will be 9 next month.
So that's nice that they're so close in age, and yet one's really cautious and one's not so much. Is that kind of nice that they can play off each other in that sense? I'm going to go do this, and then I don't know if I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, like a typical little sister, I'm not listening to you. Yeah, number 2 is just crazy. Number 2 is all over the place. Even more now that she's mouthy and all over the place. No.
I know. I keep on getting this picture in my head of her in goalie, clapping her gloved hands together. Not today, ladies, to the other team on the field. As she rejects incoming soccer balls or whatever is happening on that story.
I mean, I don't even think she was rejecting soccer balls. She's just standing there talking trash in the goal box. Thank goodness they didn't come to you, because you're little and that's a big goal box. I did sign her up for soccer this spring, though. They still have to wear masks because we're in the current times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know. Don't you think I need a break between basketball and soccer? I'm like, absolutely not.
Why not?
Keep going.
Trying to burn some energy off her or what?
Keep going, girl. Yes. She needs to keep moving.